What is going on, everyone? My name is Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology retold action, spawning in the left-hand corner of the map. In the blue color, playing as Ra. His name is Recon. In the right-hand corner of the map, playing as Oranos. His name is Kvoth. The map is Alfheim, and this is as high level game as you're going to get on a Tuesday evening at 10 p.m. Australian time. This is where it is. This is what we've all been waiting for. Let's take a quick look at the relics and see what we can learn here. We've got the scales of a Catoplopass here. Myth units damage, vulnerability to pierce go down by 15%. Not that useful in this game for Kvoth, but he definitely wants to keep it away from Recon. Over here, we've also got Rhea's Crown, a nice one for early town center booms and the like. Over here, we got the skulls of Cercepes, which is going to be getting some monkeys. Very, very nice early game relic there. And finally, Tusk of the Iron Boar does make things very, very challenging for whomever is subject to its powers. Obviously, Recon will be able to make really, really good chariot archers and camel riders with this. And then Kvoth will be able to make really good Terma and Contarius with that relic. Nonetheless, let's see what sort of a build order here Kvoth is going for. He's got himself 5 on food, 5 on gold. This is currently the build which a lot of top players are sort of utilizing to get themselves an advantage in the early game. But the more I use this build, the more I'm like feeling it's ever so slightly not getting me what I want. Like I'm obviously in a really good spot. It's really good resources. This is the most total resources I'm going to get, but I'm struggling to hit like a 4-minute advance time with this build. It's hitting like more 4:17, 4:18, or 4:30, depending on how bad everything is going for me. Nonetheless, we'll see if Recon can show this up. He also built this with 2 villages, which is I actually don't know what the math is on this. Maybe someone can do this math for me. What's better, 1 villager building the temple or 2 while it's getting priest empowered? Very interesting. Nonetheless, Kvoth on the other side here. I'd be surprised if he doesn't go for a second town center on this map. He's already sending a citizen out here to drop the whatchamacallit down, the sky passage down. And we'll see if Recon is going to be able to react to this in time. Recon here, not yet advanced. He's still, again, he takes a long time to get to the classical age with this build. It's going to be a 4:30 advance time here, which is actually considerably late. Let's take a quick look at his actual vision. He does see the settlement over here. He sees the settlement here. He hasn't seen Kvoth's back settlement, though the town center basically has been decided on already by Kvoth on this position. As the sky passage coming up, and Bast, they got a choice here for Recon. This will be interesting because Recon loves this sort of Sphinx idea. However, against Oranos has got access to the Caladria, which means that you have to be really careful with your Sphinx. And by really careful with your Sphinx is you basically have to avoid those Caladria like the plague. Because as soon as they get pacified, all of a sudden the Mamilla hero or the Catapelti hero or the Terma hero is on them, and they're going to be getting taken down very, very quickly. Now, the one thing going for Recon at the moment is he's got a lot of vision on the map. He also might not be going for Sphinx. He might be going for something completely different, like Patsukos, or maybe mummies, or you can go for Avengers as well. But yeah, there's a lot of there are a lot of really, really strong like ideas with a mix of a Bast and building a big myth unit. I would say Scarab not the best, but nonetheless, we'll see what's going to happen here as the town center for Kvoth is well and truly completed here. No problems with getting this one. He's got several gold mines behind it, getting another sky passage up onto this position to jump straight onto the Caribou. He can move from his home town center up here. He can move from his second town center over here. So both of these settlements all of a sudden become effectively village centers in terms of placement. They're able to, you just have 0 idle time walking across the map, which is honestly invaluable. Really, really strong. Yes, you have to build the Sky Passage, which does take 30 seconds to build. Yes, it costs 50 wood and 8 favor, so it's not cheap. It's not free, but it is very, very strong. As now we see a counter barracks getting thrown up. And do we have any sort of anything coming through here for Kvoth? For Recon, excuse me. Answer is no, not just yet. He's not going for Sphinx. The question is he going to go for a Mythic Age? You could go for Sekhmet. There is one strat here that I'm yet to really try seriously. I've tried it once, but the idea would be a 1 town center fast Mythic through Sekhmet, Albast, Sekhmet, and Horus. And you get yourself Crimson Linen, Eclipse with the Avengers, and all of a sudden they are killing everything as these Relic Monkeys coming in causing some problems. But the Kvoth Catapulties are already out, and the Hero Catapulties are getting converted as this one Caladria can almost out-heal this monkey damage. And he can also use that special ability here very, very shortly as well if he so chooses. But it looks like he is going to choose to not for the time being. It's so close to dying. Kvoth knows. Wait, does he know it's not going to go? He knows it's not going to go down. I wonder if he's even watching here. All the monkeys go down and everyone's favorite relic has been disposed of. And not even a special ability. Well, half HP. We've got to get that one healed back up. Town Center is now up for Recon on the bottom side. So he did actually go for a second Town Center. And it's just going to be a naked a 2 Town Center fast heroic here for Recon. So not really all too many surprises there. Monkeys or lions, which one's better? It's really whatever floats your boat. The monkeys are better because you can kind of spread them out across the map and do a whole bunch of different things at once. But the lions are better at kind of like single target sort of damage overall. So you can potentially get surrounds with the monkeys to get villager kills. So I think overall, I think the monkeys are better, but there are some niche cases where the lions could be the more preferred free relic unit, as Sobek is the god of choice, and this does kind of lock him into this idea of going for Pitsukos. Yeah, you can go mummies still, but I feel like if you're going to go mummies, you would just go for Sekhmet, get the Citadel down, and be able to advance to the Mythic Age even faster, get you to those mummies even faster, as we'll see the walls all coming up for Kvoth. Kvoth here is going to be probably more than happy to take this game later, because he can go for Thea, and he can go for Hecate in this matchup, and have a really, really strong late game. It sounds really weird to say this, but Atlantean or Oranos with this god path of Oceanus, Thea, and Hecate probably competes with any other late game powerhouse, in my opinion. I'm yet to be convinced of that otherwise. Now, potentially we'll see that in this game. Hopefully we'll see that. I want to be proved wrong. Any sort of late game shenanigans is going to be really, really interesting. And the only god that I can think of that maybe you don't want to go late game against is Freyr. But even then, it might be the case that he can compete. I'm not sure. I've not seen it. Nonetheless, Recon's Sphinx getting pushed back with the Catapulti in hot pursuit. But where's the Caladria? No Caladria to help out on this side as the Sphinx does get back home. And are we seeing Recon going for Pitsukos? Yes, we are. Now, this is the second time I've actually seen Recon going Pitsukos against Kvoth's Oranos. It didn't work in the first time because he went for 1 town center. This is a 2 town center Recon. So all of a sudden he's got a lot more economy. And he's also, look at all these priests. They're just everywhere. Empowering the Migdol, empowering the mining camp, empowering literally everything. You got the Pharaoh empowering in the main base. It's really, really nice. You could also empower this town center up, as Kvoth is just going to be slowly walking towards what he knows is going to be really challenging to beat. If you go as Kvoth here, Spearman, Camel Rider, Pitsukos, I am not 100% sure these Spearmen do all too well against the Hero Catapultis that are being made here. Yes, the Catapultis are stronger or more expensive, 105 food, 60 gold all in there, but you can always build out some Mermillos as well if your opponent isn't going to be making those Axemen to deal with your Catapultis, and all of a sudden you've got Catapulti Mermillo, which is very, very strong. But we shall see how things are going to go here as Crocodilopolis is on the way. We've got irrigation coming through, husbandry as well here on the way. As the rock floating in the sky, getting sent packing for the time being. Oh, 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 dead villager? No, not going to overcommit there. Pulls back. More walls coming up for Recon, for Kvoth, as he is literally taking the entirety of the map from Recon. Recon is just not prioritizing this in the slightest. He just says, if you want to put walls up there, no worries. Maybe I'll deal with it later, maybe I won't. But he's got his 3 town centers. He's taking this game where he wants to take this game. Kvoth, he's taking the full map control. He's got the potential to drop a sky passage over here as well to harass the main base. He can sky passage up on this side to harass this town center. So there's lots and lots of abilities to actually get in and get damage done. And we'll see how things are going to go. He's going through Hyperion, so there's no access to the Thea trees, which is... There's positives and negatives for this. So Hyperion gives access to Chaos, which will mean that in the mid game and maybe even in the late game as well, he's going to be able to take engagements that he might otherwise be unable to take. Like locking the Camel Riders in place so his catapulters can kill them off and all that other good stuff. But the negative is no access to the... no access to the Dryad. But this does mean he could go for Chaos Helios, which is where you would Vortex on top of an army and then you would Chaos it in place so that your units can land and you can get a huge amount of damage. So there's some really, really nice synergy, so to speak, with those 2 god powers moving forward, as the Camel Riders are just going to be bashing through on this position. Remember, these have got an extra 10% HP here, which is absolutely insane. But the main base is now going to be open as Kvoth hasn't got this walled off just yet. And Recon, on the other hand, with his probably already shaft mine in, yes, he's got that already, means he's probably going to be able to get to the Mythic Age very, very shortly. He's got 34 villages on gold. He is spending all that gold still trying to build up a force to start pushing forward. But without any siege here, I find it difficult to believe that he's going to get any serious damage done. There is, however, going to be access to Eclipse. But we see Heroic Renewal coming through for Kvoth. He is slowly building up this army to become incredibly strong, hiding inside of the sky passage as well, so his opponent can't see this. And we'll see what can happen here as the military barracks getting cleaned up. We've got the old medium Arcus on the back just flinging some arrows, almost sniping a unit, but the Pitsukos does manage to get a couple of kills off here as Kvoth not really defending his units all too well here. Another Catapulti going down. As the Pitsukos slowly waddling forward. With Hero Catapulti is going to keep coming through. He can Chaos and Shockwave away a whole bunch of units as he's trying to take out all of these Pitsukos before the Eclipse comes through. He does get 3 kills and decides, all right, time to pull back out as Recon is in a good spot forward here, but we're taking out 2 gold powers going through the Mythic Age through Osiris at this point. But Kvoth gets some good damage done. He's getting himself the heavy infantry upgrades, more catapulties to come through as well. There's not really any food left on the map, so the farms do have to come up. He does have some cows left in the corner of the map, berries, but you know, there's not really all too much important resources, or too many important resources left on the map for the time being. As Recon now, he sees the army comp, and now he's deciding, well, Axemen beat Catapulti, so let me get some of those out. And at the moment, it's just pure Catapultis for Recon, and Kvoth knows that the answer to this is going to be Axemen, so he does need to be prepared. He's getting himself the military barracks up, but to build up Arcus to deal with any sort of Axemen that are coming up. But for the moment, his Hero Catapultis are going to be more than enough to deal with this. He also does need the answer to Son of Osiris as well. So those Catapultis charging forward, sniping down a Sphinx. And those Catapultis simply just going to be retreating back home. Gold Stronghold now up for Recon. As a citizen gets sniped on the front here. Son of Osiris is through. And that'll be moving forward here. There is still this Eclipse, and there's really no rush here for Recon. Kvoth kind of needs to do something. There's this world where Recon just gets out 3 mummies. He's only got 32 favor in the bank at the moment, but you can get out 3 mummies, and then all of a sudden Eclipse is going to be brutal. But what Kvoth can do is go pure hero, and all of a sudden those mummies are just not that useful. We are going to be seeing some catapults coming in to try and break through this position. Kvoth is still playing it very, very slowly. At the moment, he technically has an advantage because there's no champion upgrades in just yet for Recon. So if he makes an engagement, we are seeing Helios as the god of choice. Could be a little bit of limit testing here, or the idea that Hecate's just not that useful. Again, we've got Chaos plus Vortex, really, really strong. As the Son of Osiris slowly starting to move forward here. Which town center has Kvoth gone for? In the back town center here makes a lot of sense. Resource-wise, Recon with a ton of resources in the bank here. That's the McDowell stronghold on the front. Going to come up, and this is going to be a very scary moment for Kvoth as he needs to get in and deal with this. Once the McDowell stronghold is up, he's going to be in a real challenging position. We've got the champion Camel Riders coming through as well. These Camel Riders are really kind of not that useful at the moment. And in fact, the Catapulti army is not just Catapultis. He's got a whole bunch of Murmillo here as well. There's a hometown center going to be getting taken down. There's enough for another Vortex here, or another Chaos, I should say. But Recon with more Migdols on the front. Look at all the gold in the bank. You just spam in on this position. There's all the hero units coming in. Another Migdol stronghold to come through here as well. Carnivora on the back to get in, as that Son of Osiris is still looking very, very scary. And at this point, it's like we've got the Catapultis coming out of the Sky Passage as Kvoth says it is time to go. Big Chaos coming onto this position as the Son of Osiris is actually getting targeted down by the town center. The army here of Recon looks like it is melting. No Eclipse to come through just yet as the infantry army breaking through on this position. Lots and lots of axemen coming in, however, as Recon, Kvoth is still not building any of those. Well, he's getting a couple of archers out, but the army gets in over here. The population has fallen in a really, really big way as Locust getting dropped in onto this position. Kvoth does react in a timely manner. The Santa Manus going to come in, but army-wise, it's looking like the army of Kvoth has melted, and he will have to retreat back as Kvoth here not able to break through the triple Migdol stronghold. As the town center is up for Kvoth. And all of a sudden, Kvoth is on the back foot. Now he can just vortex around the map and start getting some damage done elsewhere. But Recon's putting up some watchtowers on the front here. So Kvoth's going to be trying to macro back up to full population. He's got 6 of these oracles in. Are they sitting with hero oracles? Yes, they are. Son of Osiris back in and get a whole bunch more damage over here. And this is still the situation that the situation we're still in here. I mean, maybe without Thea Hecate, it's less good. But if Kvoth can take out this Son of Osiris, and all of a sudden this army looks a lot less terrifying. Santa Manus as well can send those axemen flying for a little bit. As the Arcus can get some good damage. Then we've got a Fire Siphon to come through as well. Santa Manus bashing those units away. Shockwave to come in as the army attempting to get in onto that Son of Osiris. But as soon as he gets targeted down, it's just going to get garrisoned away as the army yet again melting. Recon's army just too strong at this point with these military buildings. Kvoth does not have his own real defenses up here. He's got a town center, which is big. But there's just too much support here. As in that moment, Kvoth does tap out. And Recon finds the dub. And he's just so... This like move here to get in with these Migdol strongholds. I don't actually think this was a viable move. He just sent villagers forward and Kvoth kind of let this happen. Kvoth had the army. He would have won the fight. He just was waiting for the Mythic Age. Waiting. And Recon took the opportunity to just claim this position. You kind of saw when he made the push, the army just absolutely melted. So maybe if he'd made that push a little bit earlier, melted the army before the Migdols came up and got onto the Son of Osiris, it would have been a different situation. But in the end, the Son of Osiris just carried so hard here. Potentially just attacking in a different position over here. Instead of trying to break through on this spot, could have been another idea. Just break through over here, kill off this town center, and then all of a sudden Recon needs to think about either pushing really hard forward and then you can take a fight over here rather than on top of the Migdols, or he has to like building creep forward while Kvoth doesn't need to, but obviously fighting underneath these Migdols is a little bit too tough. Anyways, GG, well played by Recon. Really nice Ra play here, showing off how good these buildings can be. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider the follow on Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game. What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Ancient Mythology Retold action. Yes, we're back. This is game number 2. These guys have actually played quite a few games so far in this little session, but we're jumping in here because I am very interested in how this matchup actually goes when someone as powerful as Recon is playing. Ra, at the moment, is, in my opinion, one of the S-tier gods, and Oranos, in my opinion, is another one of the S-tier gods. So I feel like these two gods match up really, really nicely together, and it is actually a really close game most of the time, especially when you're getting onto these more open maps. So this could actually be a really, really fast loss for the Ra here as well, but we'll have to wait and see how Kvoth is going to approach it. Last game on Alfheim, he went for some pretty slow boomy play, which did let him get constricted. He did get the map sorted with walls and all of that, but he just couldn't hold those positions, and Recon just calmly took the spot, walked forward, claimed the location, and said, okay, now what? But now we're in a different map, we're in a different game, and let's see how it's all going to be spawning. It does look like it's a very, very open megalopolis here, and forward gold mine, so very, very aggressive, which I'm sure both players are going to be noticing very quickly here as the obelisks are coming up over here. And wait, is he doing this as well? Okay, so I want to make a little quick note on this because I've started doing this. I think it is the correct way to... he's not quite doing it. He kind of is. He doesn't move a crazy amount of distance, but the way that I feel like... Now he's doing it now. Okay. The way that I feel like is the best sort of way to scout with the Oracle, it might be a mix of this actually and something else, but I think the best way to scout with the Oracles is to just right click on the blue line or just after the blue line. And that way you keep the vision as far as possible and you get the fastest scouting in the game by far when you do this, as opposed to like taking the entirety of the circle and then moving to another blank space and then taking the entirety of the circle. So a little bit of scouting tips. Not only that, you also get more favor income from doing this as well. I don't feel like that's that much of a big deal. More important is how fast you actually get the map scouted. I'd be interested in exactly what percentage of the map you scout is and how much better it is. Because I don't know. It just feels better. I'm very much a feeling player, that's all. But we'll see how this one's going to go. We see Recon. He's not going to be going for any sort of rhinoceros dragging in shenanigans over here. Going to be dropping the economic guild or the granary here and grabbing himself these positions so he can get onto the zebras really easily. So sometimes this is actually just better with Egyptian. It's definitely better with ISIS because you want to be getting upgrades out of the granary, and obviously Ra is going to want to get those upgrades as well at some point, but you can put the granary down onto the berries here. Bit of an interesting monument placement as well from Recon. The thing is, his plan is probably to just put a monument over this side so that he's going to hit these berries, or maybe over here, hit the berries, the backwood line, and the gold mine here. But we'll see how things are going to go. We got to do a flipperoonie here as well. So Recon is now going to have to face up against Kvoth going for another town center. And I love this. This is a little bit of an adaptation from Kvoth, but he might get into some trouble here as this is spotted. There's no sky passage on this position, but it looks like Recon's that little bit too late to the classical age, and it's just not going to work out for him. So this build here from Recon, this is the one that I've been doing as well. He is going for a shifting. I think this is too late. Maybe not. Villagers are in. Shockwave comes down. Okay, this game's over, I think. Is the Mister there? Mister was in my chat telling me you can do this. Gets a citizen killed. Does he lose a villager? Or he doesn't even target the villager down. He could have picked the villager off. Well, that was a bit of a meme. Should we just go next here? Oh. Now, obviously, if you go for a faster advance here with Ra, this is actually a threat. This is a threat. Shifting sands, maybe get a second Wadget out, shank down the town center, deny it. But even then, you deny the town center, but you've also had a bunch of idle time with your villagers, and they're out in the middle of nowhere. Chronom is saying some very smart things in the chat that I'm not sure I'm capable of comprehending. But nonetheless, Recon goes for the shifting sands. It's down. He's not tapping out, so he wants to play this out from this position anyways. He did win last game fairly convincingly, so even with a little bit of a terrible start, maybe it's going to become a little bit more even is his thought process is. So we'll see if he can pull this one back from this spot. The Pharaoh back into the main base, going to be empowering up the monument. And Kvoth is like, well, I mean, if you're going to be that far behind, like, imagine how many resources he lost by doing the shifting sands. So let's say up until the point, let's say he went at 4:30, up until the point that he's actually dropping this granary and getting to work, we'll see. Maybe it's going to be 6 minutes and 50 seconds. So it's probably like 2 minutes and 30 seconds of, maybe it's even more. We'll just go with, 2 minutes and 30 seconds of idle time for these villagers. That's 7 villagers gathering at 60 resources a minute. You're looking at probably more than the cost of a town center. So this makes a lot of sense here for Kvoth to just come over here and drop this down and just be like, all good. He did kill off a citizen. That is value. But in the end, I don't know if it's much value. Not as much as the idle time. That's one citizen kill is 1.5 resources a second. So you're looking at 90 resources a minute. So that's going to take like 5 minutes to pay itself off or something. So it's pretty close. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is just enough value for Recon. We'll have to wait and see if this is going to be a steamroll here for Kvoth, as his economy is going to be absolutely stonking in this game, and all the gold mines are forward. So I mean, the options here for Kvoth are mass barracks and just going for a huge Murmillo push. He could also go for a whole bunch of Catapulti again, like he's going to, and just sort of wait it out and take the advantage where that's concerned. He can also pressure this, but that's already all eaten. There's also these monkeys over here that he can pressure. I love that Recon is always kind of delaying farms as long as possible. He's also got berries in his main base, which are good. And on the herdables. Doesn't have himself the husbandry tech just yet, but he has clicked up through Sekhmet. As we'll see what Kvoth's plan is here. I don't see an armory just yet, but, you know, I guess we can use this sort of like defensive boomy time to just talk about the players and why we're seeing what we're seeing here. So at the moment, you know, Age of Mythology is a game which top players tend to play not, in my opinion, tend to play not inside of what is actually the best play. Tend to. Sometimes this is not correct, but they generally play towards their playstyle, their strength. In Age of Mythology, you've got several different playstyles. You've got a raiding playstyle that's really, really good. You've got aggressive playstyle. You've got defensive boomy playstyle. And then you've got everything in between, right? both of these players, Kvoth and Recon, tend to favor that defensive play style. Now, Recon will go for some early pressure play some of the time, but I think that's more of a subject of him having to deal with it against Mister in his training than something he actually prefers to do. But nonetheless, I could be talking complete rubbish here as well. But that's what I'm good at. So, nonetheless, Spearman going to be coming through, attempting to hit some termers over here. And Kvoth just going to be pulling it back, dropping inside of his sky passage and saying, you don't know what I got. And he doesn't. The scouting is not there. We see the Caladra getting a little bit of a pacify off. A couple of Spearmen getting sniped off. Well, my Milo coming over here to say g'day. As it looks to me like Recon is going to be going for Bow Chariot Archers. So a very, very different playstyle here from Recon. As the Army of Killer is going to come over. And Bow Chariot Archers plus Spearmen makes a lot of sense. Because you can't really counter the Bow Chariot Archers with Terma. The speed is too, or not the speed, the range is too low. And the Spearmen are going to be able to counter them when they run in to try and poke them off. But catapulties still are going to be able to rush through and kill them, even with the extra range. These catapulties are still, with Hero, still going to go up to 5.8 speed. Still going to be very, very strong. Or even 5.4 speed is going to be enough. But it does look like it's just mostly Spearmen for the time being. And Kvoth, yet again, going to be going through Hyperion in this game. As more military barracks slowly coming down for Kvoth. I'll throw down another one up here. And, I mean, honestly, the score difference is not as much as I would have expected. It is pretty significant at 11 minutes and 20 seconds of the game. But 3k score difference when you're down a town center, it's not... I mean, I guess Kvoth isn't in the heroic gauge yet, so he's about to get a big score boost from that. But the Spearmen coming through will spot these villagers at the top of the map. And Kvoth here waits until the very last minute. Still hasn't reacted. Still hasn't reacted. Still hasn't reacted. The Spearman's still coming around. And he gets in. And wow. I don't know if that was Kvoth trolling or not. I really don't know. But the sky patch just gets cleaned up. The citizens are gone. And the unit's now going to be charging over here, attempting to deny this Migdol stronghold from coming up on this next gold mine. You see Carnivora getting dropped over here. That priest empowering this Migdol stronghold is going to be gigantic as the Murmillo charge around here to snipe the priest off, but too little too late. The Migdol stronghold is up, and all of a sudden Recon is in a very, very nice position. The Wadget almost going down. Does snipe the Wadget there. Scarab goes down. The Spearmen are coming through. These Spearmen here, they're not Anubis Spearmen. They don't have any sort of bonus damage or anything against these Murmillos. So the Murmillos will be able to beat them out. But the army is just not in at the moment for Kvoth. He's going to be getting himself this heroic renewal tech. This is sort of a playstyle that 3DB sort of popularized a way back, which is get yourself a whole bunch of hero units, get yourself heroic renewal, sit back, and then once you get them all, you can go and actually go and get some huge damage done. As the army here for Kvoth looking to take a fight, does drop the chaos down. Satyr on the back should get some big damage done, but doesn't look like he's quite able to clean up this army. Kvoth dropping down a shockwave over here as well. You get even more damage done as the army of Recon is just not doing anything at the moment. Kvoth's still going to hang out on this position, sending even more units in here to fight. Look at the difference in villager count. 100 to 75 here. As Kvoth decides, that's enough damage for now. Let me pull back and see what happens next. He's also going to be getting this Sons of the Sun technology to turn all of those oracles positioned around the map into heroes. As the rain gets dropped down by Recon to get him a little bit more food income. And at this point, nearly full population, just missing a couple of houses, it seems, or manors at the moment. But we'll see how things are going to go here as Horus now on the way. It's going to be a very, very scary situation here. There's still a very big differential in terms of score here. As the army for Kvoth just says, hang on, if you're not going to attack me and fight me, I can just kill your Migdol, and now we've got a gold starve situation on the way. A couple of Kontarius are starting to come through as well, as the Mamilo now going to be able to take out a whole bunch of these villagers. Do they have their upgrade? Yes, they do. They got that skin of the Rhino tech to boost their stats. He's also got the upgrade and Pygmalion statue in, so they have a lot of HP. Very, very strong. I'm surprised to see the actual Kontarius coming in here at the moment, but nonetheless, up onto this position, we've got a Migdol stronghold attempting to come through. Do we see any villagers actually wandering? Yes, we do. See if Kvoth is going to notice this or not. Oftentimes, it can be a little bit challenging. What does this line of sight look like? It's enough to spot this. If Recon doesn't spot it, he's going to be a little bit worse for wear here as well. As Kvoth charging through, drops down the Carnivora onto this spot. Has all of those spearmen targeting them down. Is this a fight that he can actually win or not? As the Migdol stronghold is coming up. A fourth town center, fifth town center is coming up. Jeepers. Kvoth is saying, I do not care about the Mythic Age in this game. This is as greedy as it gets. Tornado getting dropped down, but a good garrison micro there from Kvoth as he pulls back in onto this spot. The spearmen coming through. As the Kontarius are going to quickly start hitting the gold villagers on this position. Remember how much HP? They've got so much HP with all these relics. The palace on the front going to get taken down, and all of a sudden, well, no, Kvoth is still fine. He's got gold mines up here, gold mines over here, gold mines for days, gold mine down the bottom as well. So he's completely fine. This town center attempting to come up. We've got Avengers as the unit of choice for the time being here. Can Recon pull this one back? Is the big question. This is such a greedy play from Kvoth to get population in. Still got a lot of favor in the bank, so he can make out a ton of myth units if he so chooses. Kontarius in the main base really can't take down a Citadel center here. It just does so much damage. As the citizen gets killed off, the town center gets denied. This one is up, however. But at the moment, it's 220 population to 200. The town center does end up getting up, though, as Kvoth manages to finish that one. So now he's at 235 pop. Where's the Chaos getting used? I don't even know where he... Oh, over here. Drops it on this spot, picks up all those units here, gets control of this gold mine. Another rain coming through, however, for Recon, as he will be cleaning up this town center. Can Kvoth get to full population here before it goes down, though, is the big question. Looks like the answer is very much close, and he does manage to get to 230 pop. But another Migdol stronghold is up. As Kvoth tries to break in, tries to take out those villagers in the center here. A couple of destroyers in onto this fight as well. The thing is here that Kvoth is sort of stuck in the heroic age at the moment because he's got so much population to work with. And Recon, he's going to be getting himself champion archers very, very soon. And those are going to be very scary. Are these... I think the Recon Spearmen have also got their upgrade here. Yes, they do. They've got themselves that greatest of the 50. No Horus Spear just yet, but he doesn't need it because there's no cavalry units, as the forward Migdol will end up getting taken down. Town Center still coming up over here. Another shockwave onto the back line there of the Chariot Archers to give his units just a little bit more survivability. Can he win this fight, though, with the incredibly powerful Mamilo Arcus? We see the Carnivora getting dropped down here as well, as the Mamilo charging up here in an attempt to deny this town center. It's going to be close. 4, 3, 2, 1. Denied at 99% completion there. As Kvoth pulls back. Down onto the other side of the map here. Got the Mamilo charging in onto this position. Got a question in the chat. Do you think the real villain in OMATM is how strong champion upgrades are? It could be. It could be. I don't know. I don't really know what the problem is. I definitely don't think it's the cost of the Mythic Age. Because you can see how hard it is for Kvoth to get Mythic Age in this situation. So, you know, not to go off on too much of a rant on it, but in this situation here, if Recon was in the Mythic Age, then Kvoth would just be lost. But Kvoth is well, maybe not lost, but just never going to get to Mythic Age. He's never going to get 1500 food. He's never going to get 1500 gold in this situation. But the town center is up now for Recon. So we've got a palace up to the top position. Recon is playing this one exceptionally well here. But these chariot archers are kind of the difficulty. And now we see champion chariots in, and all of a sudden, Kvoth needs to go, ooh, how do I beat this? So Migdol Stronghold on the way up here. We've got the catapult rolling up to the top position. As the citizens going down over here, going to be diving into the palace. And as we see the army charging in, Recon out of position, will be losing this town center. Fortified town centers is actually in here for Kvoth as well. So they've got 260 population. As the Clontari is pulling back, those spearmen do have that Horus spear. You can see by 2.75x against the cavalry units here that that's the case. Kvoth takes that position back. Catapult coming up over here. He can charge it into a sky passage, as we see that one coming up, and then come over, clean this up, and then be back over onto this spot yet again. But the longer this game goes on, the less gold mines are on the map. And yes, I mean, we're seeing the units come up here to try and take this out. A couple of units coming in. We've got the spearmen already in position here, as all these villages, very low HP. There's another chaos available for this fight if Kvoth wants to do it, and he does want to do it as the Clontarius charging in here. Those spearmen melting, but so too will the Clontarius be melting as Kvoth cannot get in onto the back line. But in the end, does it matter here as the catapult goes down? The army population still sitting at a decent, respectable number, and I think we're getting very close to a late game situation, but it's 4 town centers versus... Wait, is it 4? 4 town centers versus 2 town centers at the moment, as Kvoth drops another shockwave down, allowing those archers here to get some huge damage done, as the spearmen charging towards their death here against the volleys of arrows of Kvoth, as Kvoth now has cut a couple of destroyers out. The more of these destroyers he has, the better against those chariot archers, but good micro, good control from Recon here, as Kvoth attempting to micro back here away from those chariot archers, doing a nice job of just continuing to snipe down spearmen. But in the end, this trading here does not matter that much, as the army's still floating in this spot. I wouldn't mind seeing another palace and just continuing to get these destroyers out in this position. There's the town center. Still no architects in. Could grab that tech to make his town center a little bit more, give it a little bit more survivability. So the next chaos is 100 favor. He does have only 5 oracles out at the moment. So more oracles would mean more chaos, would be in a better position for him to be in. The army pops back in over onto this spot, going to take out the catapult, as we are seeing some more Recon Migdol Stronghold shenanigans coming through without burning pitch. It takes a while to clean this one up, as the town center for Recon going to come back up, and all of a sudden it's going to be 240 pop versus 260 pop here. The army back over onto this spot, and I mean the pushing power now onto this town center is getting more and more difficult. Architects is in. He's got fortified town centers. That's nearly 4,000 HP worth of town center on the front, and he's only got a 15 population advantage, but now he's clicked up through Hecate. And this might be the edge that he needs. A Tartarian gate on the back position over here to hit all these farms and that town center. As we see the destroyers now coming through. There's 7 of them to take out the town center here. And you see a couple of slingers actually coming through for Recon, so we'll see if that's going to be a help or not. As the town center attempting to get taken down, there is architects in, it looks like, as the arc is coming over here to defend up onto this position. The slingers and chariot archers trying to deal with this, but the town center for Recon is going to fall yet again in this game. Recon not actually able to spend all of his, well, he is spending his resources, not able to get the units out and keep himself at full pop. So he's not even going to be at 245 pop here. The town center in this position has survived yet again in this game. Villagers coming back up onto this spot. The Arcus coming through. Destroyers denying the town center as the army poking down onto these villages here underneath the Migdol stronghold. And there will be another chaos available for Kvoth to use. I wouldn't mind seeing the next 5 oracles coming through. You see, look at the favor generation that he has right now. 32 per minute. Imagine 64 per minute. Gonna have, obviously they cost 1 population each, so you're gonna have 5 pop less units, so 2.5 less units. But still, town center about to come back up for Recon. He's playing this so nice. Meanwhile, the Toxo, or the Arcus, these are basically Toxotes, right? Wandering into the main base to drop a Tartarian gate down. We see the chaos getting dropped down onto this spot to make those chariot archers very, very weak. Tartarian gate into the main base, hitting some houses here underneath the town center. These villages, I don't know, man. Like, this is an architect's Tartarian gate, but the villagers are just so good for Ra with Pygmalion statue. And the other thing, it probably would have been worth it to just drop it on the temple, to drop the Pygmalion statue out, to give more damage onto this position done. And look at this, the town center is actually getting some huge damage done here as well, as the villager is going to be repairing this one back up. We've got a couple of fire siphons to start coming through for Kvoth to break in onto this spot. Kvoth here has started a trade route. He's still got this gold mine, but it's about to expire. He's got this gold mine over here as well, so he's got a little bit left. Recon, on the other hand, he's about to run out on this one. He's got no gold over here. There's no gold basically left for Recon, so he is in a little bit of a difficult position. He's got no corners of the map secured at the moment, as these fire siphon will be turning the tides in this battle momentarily. Mercenary cavalry wasting gold here is not what he needs to do. However, Siege to the Titans is a very, very smart move. The Tartarian gate does end up getting cleaned up here. Another Carnivora to get dropped down onto the front just to tank up. Can this town center survive against the fire siphons? It looks like the answer is barely. No, it can't. Good pullback micro there from Kvoth to hold this position as the destroyers continuing to come through. Whole bunch of villagers now sitting idle here. This is going to be a problem, but there's a shifting sands idea available, as the villagers are going to be charging for 33 Pygmalion's statue. Skin of the Rhino villagers coming in. These things have got 91 HP. They are effectively a spearman in terms of effectiveness here. Are they? Let me have a look at it. There's no spearman. They're all dying there. They are basically a spearman. The spearman got 131 HP. They got more damage as well. They're not a spearman. They're nothing like that. But this Titan Gate now coming through, as Kvoth is actually going to go for the next town center, but he's got to be careful here. He's got access to Celerity. He's got access to Mythic Rejuvenation. So his Titan is actually much, much better than Kvoth's, than the Recon's Titan. But Recon's got access to Priests, and those are really, really good. So the question is, which way do you go? And he is going to be going for his own Titan, but can you get it up in time? I don't know if you can. The Titan can just rush straight in to kill off the Titan Gate. I mean, you can hide it. As you do see some villagers coming in over here. They've knocked down this wall, going onto this spot. Kvoth needs to react to this because this is going to be a brutal Migdol stronghold to get placed. Doesn't quite have the resources. We see a Sky Passage coming up. Good reaction from Kvoth here. Does Kvoth have the upgrades? No, he doesn't. Another wall to come up onto this spot as the Sky Passage is in. The units are going to be pulling back. That Titan Gate is just coming down so quickly. I genuinely don't think that Kvoth can get this Titan out in time. There's Mamilo charging in, sniping down those villagers here. There's the Titan Gate now coming up for Kvoth. In the center of his base as well. And he's put 10 villagers only onto it. He's bringing more villagers over there. Oh, this is very tense. Very, very tense. He could go for mass hero Arcus here as well to deny this. Sort of like rush of the Titan straight in onto the town center. Or straight onto the Titan Gate. Is Recon searching? He doesn't know where it is. That's the challenging part. Could be all the way back in this position here for all he knows. That Recon or Kvoth has got tons of resources in the bank now to make hero Arcus. If he so chooses here. There are a lot of slingers as well. Recon at the moment, no trade. So whatever happens here, he actually has to outright win the game at the moment. As the army comes over here, snipes down the catapult. The Titan is out. The animation cancel. Not going to be seeing that Titan roar for Recon. He knows exactly what he needs to do here. As the army charging back over here, we see some hero fanatics getting converted. Will he convert the champion Arcus or not is the question. As the army all coming in to the center of the map. Kvoth going to be reacting over here. Comes over here with the Sky Passage. The Titan, where is it heading? It's going straight in to Kvoth's main base here. Will he spot the Titan Gate or not is the big question. So many units here as the frame rates are dropping. As the Titan comes in. Well, retreat here. Great garrison from Kvoth. He's not training any units. He's got to get those units out as the Titan charging in. We see the Spearman charging in to try and deny the Titan Gate. 24 seconds remaining. The Titan for Recon starting to charge over here. Is this enough time? Is the question. It looks like it's going to be as all the villagers retreating. Kvoth is in full panic mode here. The Arcus, however, are killing all the villagers that are on this spot. As the Titan Gate has been denied. All the citizens falling here for Kvoth. And it's over. Well, I don't know if it's over, but there's no Titan now for Kvoth. It's stuck at 93%. But on this position, however, the units are not... Kvoth isn't building units. He's stopped building units. He's now making some hero Arcus to try and take down the Titan. He's going to have to kill off the Titan by himself. 15 seconds on this. But the citizens die as they're trying to build this one up. The solution here would be to make hero citizens to continue to build this. But in the end, the Titan Gate is denied, but Recon has got 90 population remaining. 90 population. As the hero Arcus, they've got to shoot and scoot here because once the Titan catches up, they all die. As the Titan turns around to finish off this town center, Kvoth here, he's got a tiny bit of resources remaining. Can he hold on here or not is the big question. As the slingers breaking through, going to snipe down all those bad boys. The hero Arcus coming in. There's no resources left for either player, but there are 66 population worth of civilian unit for Kvoth in this position. Recon has gone full send here. He's not even building villages anymore out of his town centers. He could repopulate, but in that moment, Recon says the game is done. And he taps out as Kvoth holds on. What an insane game. I thought this game was over at minute 5. But for somehow, some way, I think Kvoth allowed Recon back into this game. I think Kvoth felt bad for him and said, you know what, let's not just go kill him. We'll just let him back. We'll let him back in. And we turned into one of the most cracked games of Age of Mythology I think I've seen thus far. What a game here. If you guys enjoyed this one, please consider the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Checking out the post game. You've got the resource total for Kvoth. You've got the villager kill total. The unit kill total for Recon is in. But in the end, that's not enough when you're so far behind on everything else. Favor total as well, through the roof. And Kvoth manages to hold on. And we'll see you guys in the next one.